is a presentation of the Big Ten Conference.
Easily one of the top 5 locations for college football in my list of all-time spots. Eugene, Oregon. Weather will be a factor, but the sun, as we said at the outset, is shining brightly as it goes down behind the mountains. Atticus Sappington will go with an onside, and it is loose, and the Ducks look to have it. Expect the unexpected whenever you come to Eugene, and they do. They have given the ball to Oregon. We're waiting to see who got on top of it. Perfect kick by Sappington, though.
I mean, just an outstanding job by Dan Lanning. I told you, he will not allow Wisconsin to come into Eugene and sneak up on him, and so he beats them to the punch. And an onside kick executed perfectly by the Oregon Ducks.
Naeem Alford, who's a defensive back. You'll be hearing me call his name from time to time. When he gets into the game, comes away with a recovery. Atticus did the job on that kick. I mean, it was bouncing perfectly for Wisconsin to be surprised. Dante Moore, young man out of Martin Luther King in Detroit City, out of the shotgun. Quick handoff to Noah Whittington. He takes it inside the 40 to the 36-yard line. Pickup of 6. Second down and 4 coming up. There you see the numbers. He was with Chip Kelly at UCLA, which was considered a steal for Chip at the time, on a top 15 team, but the team could not pass block for him. They became a running team, and then he migrated right back to Oregon, where he really wanted to come in the first place. Set up a screen to Sadiq, the tight end. It falls incomplete. They want him to get plenty of touches tonight. He is a real go-to tight end, and they'll use that position early and often.
Yeah, absolutely. When we talked to offensive coordinator Will Stein, he made it very clear that getting Sadiq the ball and getting DeCorian Moore, the true freshman wide receiver number 1, the ball, it's of high priority for Oregon. You will not see many drops from Sadiq.
Just under 50% on third down conversions, 5th in the Big Ten. Whittington remains the setback. And he'll take it on a stretch play. And he is going to be a couple of yards shy. Mason Posa starting at that linebacker spot, vacated by the aforementioned Christian Allegro, who we mentioned at the top of the show broke his hand and was able to play, but did play in the second half of that game against Ohio State. Now they go on 4th down, where they're 71% on conversions.
It's a really nice job there by the true freshman Mason Posa to get on the edge and make a play.
Whittington remains the setback. Wisconsin brings 4. He's going to throw it. He's in trouble, and he's down. And Wisconsin with an answer. Mason Reiger, number 22, comes through. Dante did not feel that pressure coming from his backside.
Yeah, Wisconsin here defensively, they do a really nice job of making sure they get their guys on the edge, and it's just relentless pursuit, right? He has the time, and he doesn't have enough. Great job by number 22, Mason Reiger. When they talked about this young man, they said it was motor and destruction, and you saw it on that play.
Let's go down to Josh Sims. Josh?
Well, Timmy B, it's never good when you're on your 3rd starting quarterback, but that is the case for this Wisconsin team as Hunter Simmons comes in to make his 4th start of the year. He has struggled so far this year, but the coaching staff has the full confidence in him that he can hopefully get something done for this team out here as they try and end this skid today.
How about the adaptation from our sideline reporter after that onside? Had to change that first opportunity. That pass was to Giacomelli. And it falls incomplete. There you see Hunter Simmons' story. And as Josh mentioned, pretty incredible what they've gone through. And to be in their 11th quarter without having scored is something that Wisconsin is not accustomed to. Cade Giacomelli, number 25, in the backfield, out of a pistol set. And he'll take it right up the gut. Not much room at all. mark. They're going to give him 3.
Take a look in the middle of your screen right there. Number 52, watch him jump the snap count. Amari Washington has played really good football, and there he blows that play up before it can start. If you're Wisconsin, what you want to do is start to play with the snap count. Make sure that you're not predictable on when you're going to snap the ball every single play.
There you see Tosh LaBoy, the defensive coordinator. He was with Lanning when they were on Nick Saban's staff at Alabama. That pass is tipped and incomplete. Oh, those tips in the middle of the field. Amari Washington is over there.
Yeah, Tim, you see it every week in college football, don't you? Those tips and those overthrows. Wisconsin is lucky there to get away with not an interception. I love the call there, a screen play, because they know that the rush of Oregon may be something that they aren't capable of dealing with. You call a screen, unable to execute. A nice job of Oregon standing up on defense and making sure they get the ball back to their offense.
Sean West will punt it away. Gary Bryant is back deep. He awaits at his 10. Beautiful spiraling punt. Fair catch is made at the 17-yard line. I got to tell you, I'm the Blackwell of uniforms, and the Oregon look is pretty cool.
You like that?
I like it. Yeah, I like that look. College football on FS1 is sponsored by Graduate by Hilton. Spirited stays in your favorite college towns. Just underway at Autzen Stadium. It has been the banner carrier for the best environment in college football out west for a long time. Rich Brooks got this thing started in the late 80s. And it continued through the Harrington era, the Chip Kelly era. Mark Helfrich, our colleague, played for a national title in 14. And here they are on the doorstep again. Noah Whittington ahead, running into the youngster Cooper Catalano.
It looked like Daryl Peterson was offside there.
Yep.
Defense, number 17, lined up in a neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Jason Nickleby is our white hat referee tonight.
Yeah, he's not the closest to the ball, but he's fairly close, and he does line up with his helmet over the ball right there in front of you.
So make it first down and 5 now for the Ducks.
If you're Wisconsin, you have to stay away from penalties like that. Oregon is going to do enough for themselves. You cannot help them.
Out of the shotgun, quick curl, caught by Gary Bryant, the USC transfer, senior out of Riverside, California. And Catalano again was there to the stop. That's a pickup of 4, 2nd and 1.
The 2nd and 1 is very dangerous for this Wisconsin defense. They have to be aware of the big play action and shot downfield.
Whittington surges ahead for 2 and a first down. Posa in there to make the stop, along with Daryl Peterson, graduate out of Akron, Ohio. Posa, freshman from Albuquerque, New Mexico, pressed into that very critical position as you look at Will Stein, the former Louisville walk-on quarterback that has come in since Kenny Dillingham left to go to Arizona State and done a marvelous job as offensive coordinator. Jordan Davison is in the backfield now. Dante trying to step up. Nice spin move to get out of trouble. And he finds Davison out of the backfield on the check down and gets it up to the 32-yard line.
That's a really nice job by the defense of Wisconsin trying to corral Dante Moore. You can see here, as Dante Moore gets to the top of his drop, they don't go past his depth, and so they jump right in front of him. But his athletic ability allows him to get out and still create a positive play on first down. And you know that first down production is so important, and there they get 5.
So it's 2nd down and 5. Mike Tressel, if the name sounds familiar, it should. The defensive coordinator for Wisconsin, still confident that his team can bring it tonight. Make this game close. Davison, not much. Good recognition by Posa again. I got to tell you, Devin, this kid's everywhere. Mason Posa is all over the place for Wisconsin.
That was extremely impressive to see him defeat the block. This is his first opportunity in this large stadium on this huge stage. He's able to defeat the block and make a play on a play that would be a huge play if not for his ability. Outstanding job by Posa there on the edge.
There's Coach Trussell. Of course, the ties that Luke Fickell had with Ohio State and Coach Trussell. They run very, very long. Mike now his defensive coordinator. Dante juggled it a bit. Again, backside pressure. He did not feel it, and now we get a late flag. Sebastian Cheeks may have thrown him down with too much purpose. Let's see. Or it could be a hold. Could be a holding call.
Personal foul, face mask, offense, number 76. That penalty is declined.
Yep.
4th down.
So no problem with the way Cheeks took him down. 76, Isaiah All-World is the guilty party with the face mask.
Yeah, and there's the penalty right there. Face mask, All-World is just trying to stop him from getting to his quarterback who can't see it coming. But the reason is he gets such a good jump. Isaiah World just cannot get out of his stance, and he beats him to the quarterback, and he just has to try to grab and take some of that hit off of Dante Moore.
Sometimes you do see that takedown being a bit difficult as Ferguson Reynolds punts it away, end over end. It's a bit of an Oregon bounce. Was it touched? Did Wisconsin touch it? Ducks think they did. I'm not sure they did. I think the ball just took a big bounce in Oregon's favor. That's Luke Basso, the long snapper that went down to get the recovery. I think the fans may have been deked a little bit by that bounce as well. 34 yards on the boot. It sort of looked like it went through his legs or bounced closely.
The ruling on the field is that the ball was illegally touched at the 39-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10, Wisconsin.
It looked as though
Timeout.
Caro Skanes, number 21, may have touched it, but he did not. Time now for today's Game Flow, sponsored by Progressive. They do pep rallies here about as well or better than anyone in college athletics.
Welcome back to Eugene, Oregon, where the score is locked at 0. Let me show you exactly why that sack happened. You can see Cheeks against Isaiah All-World. He usually doesn't give up sacks. However, if he doesn't get off on the snap count, it allows Cheeks to get on the edge and get to Dante Moore. That's how and why that sack happened.
Gideon Atuka, number 10, the redshirt freshman, is in at running back for the Badgers. They're without Darian Dupree. They're without a lot of guys in every position, really. And Atuka gets it out for a healthy gain, a pickup of 8 on 1st down. Thieneman, Dylan Thieneman, the Purdue transfer and a legacy at Purdue, made his way here. And what a pickup in the portal this young man has been.
Take a look at number 71, Malman. He does an outstanding job of getting to the second level. If he doesn't get there, that play is going to be made by Bryce Betcher. Outstanding job by 71 in white, getting to the second level.
2nd down and 2.
You have to remember, at Oregon, the noise is always a factor, so communication is paramount for Wisconsin.
Bootleg action. And the pass is cradled by Lance Mason, the tight end, the senior out of Rockwall, Texas, as Simmons gets it out of there for the 1st down.
It's a nice design, nice play. Just a naked bootleg and use the aggressiveness of Oregon against them. They do a nice job there, but let's take a look and see if he actually makes this catch. I think they're going to have to review that and say that is not a catch. He's bobbling it as he falls out of bounds, and they do stop it right here to review.
And you see him rolling his eyes in real time.
Yeah, because he
ruling on the field
knows.
was a catch for 1st down.
Yeah.
That ruling is under further review.
Tim, the reason he's rolling his eyes is because he had him early.
Yeah, he did.
He had it early. He got a little greedy. He wanted to get more, and he tries to get it to him late, and he's not able to make the throw in enough time.
Steve Strimling is in for us tonight, playing the role of Mike Pereira. Mike unable to make it, but Steve is in, and he's going to tell us what he thinks.
Yeah, I agree with Devin. I think as he goes down, he does bobble the ball, and when he completes the process where he controls the ball, he's already out of bounds. They'll get a quick look at this and change this to incomplete is what we think.
All right, now, Streamley, I'm just telling you, you don't know. It might not be quick. Even though we do all agree that it's clearly an incomplete pass, they sometimes take a little bit of time. For what reason? I have no idea.
By the way, Steve, if you want to give us a hard time, feel free. Pereira does.
No, not a problem.
After review, it is an incomplete pass. The ball will be placed at the 47-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2, Wisconsin.
Luke Fickell, you think about his career, and in a lot of ways now, he's in a position at Wisconsin where every game is a referendum on his coaching career. And this is uncharted waters for him. He's been successful everywhere he's been. Having a drive early in this game, get some points, could really be crucial for them hanging around tonight.
Certainly, and they have a 3rd and manageable, but this crowd is about to erupt.
And Tuca, again, is the setback right behind Hunter Simmons. Aker in motion, the tight end. Tuca. I think they're going to mark him about a half-yard short. I thought his surge may have gotten him the line to make. That mark is about a half-yard further behind where I thought it should be.
Yeah, that left side of the offensive line goes to the double team up to the 2nd level, and they get massive movement. I think you're absolutely right, Tim. I don't know if that spot is a friendly spot for Wisconsin, but you can see they're in the huddle, and they're prepared to go for it.
I don't like that spot at all. 4th and inches. Tuca remains the setback.
Oregon has to remain disciplined for hard counts.
Fumble. It's on the ground, but I think Tuca got on top of it. It won't matter, though, because on 4th and inches, they turn it over on downs. So, job done for Oregon, turnover or no turnover.
When you're in these short yardage situations, footwork is so important. It looked to me like Simmons has got his foot stepped on there. Well, he doesn't. He just doesn't get out. And when he doesn't get out, Coverly comes as a puller, and he knocks the ball out of his hands. And it's recovered, of course, by Wisconsin. But on 4th down, you gain no yards. The Oregon offense is back on the field. You can see there, you've got to seat the ball. If you're a young quarterback at home, you learn this on day 1 of quarterbacking. You get the snap, you put it right in your belly. We call it seating the ball so that this doesn't happen.
Well, that play and that sequence of last 2 plays sort of sums up the Wisconsin season so far.
Yeah, it does in a lot of ways. They haven't quit. However, they just have to clean up some of the operations.
And now their defense once again on trial. Benson on a reverse. Well diagnosed by Wisconsin defensively. Aaron Witt, 59. Chasing that one down.
This is the series of plays. They have these different plays in these series of plays where they line up in these funky formations and they start to make sure that they run these plays that everybody knows. It's kind of like an openers on steroids.
How about that alignment? Out to Benson, and again, Wisconsin all over it. And ruled incomplete. And I'm telling you, Aaron Witt is all over the place. He and Catalano, 44, read that play beautifully. You talk about well scouted. Mike Tressel's defense is all over it.
So when they're in those 3-play series, they are halted if you get into 3rd down in long situations, right? You don't want to run one of those fancy plays that you have on 3rd and long. So they're going to get in the huddle or kind of like a mush huddle, get a real play in for 3rd down, and they may get back to that series of plays.
I mean, you get the ball on downs at midfield, and they've gone 5 yards backwards. 3rd and 14. They've gotten to Moore a couple of times. A pump fake. Didn't fool Wisconsin. On the check down, he gets it to Gary Bryant, but nothing doing. They'll be in a punt formation here.
Yeah, that's almost a forced pump fake by Dante Moore because the ball starts to slip out of his hands as he's about to throw. He's about to throw and the ball kind of slips, and then he still can gather it and make the throw and set up a punting situation. Remember at home, it was very slick outside, right? So when the rain is hitting the turf is still wet. When that ball comes back, it's still wet when it gets to the quarterback, and so that could be an issue.
That was some hit by Austin Brown. Got flags down pre-snap. Likely a false start.
Illegal snap.
Oh,
Kicking team, number 43. 5-yard penalty. 4th
got to
down.
make sure that everybody's in place. Luke Basso, the long snapper, was guilty of that. 4th down and 12, as you see Jaden Ballard, senior.
This is about as good a start you can ask for if you're Wisconsin. You're starting 2 freshman linebackers in Mason Posa and Cooper Catalano, and you get Oregon off the field multiple times to start this game.
Well, even before they had the injuries, Tressel was really high on these kids. That's why the outlook is still pretty good. That's just a perfect punt, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And down at the 1. James Ferguson Reynolds take a bow.
Don't you just always love an amazing punt and then a punter celebration? Just absolutely jacked about a perfect punt. Wisconsin offense when we come back.
Scoreless midway through the first. We touched on the injury bug. They found the Badgers each of the last 3 years. All 3 of their week 1 quarterbacks suffered severe injuries early in the year. Mordecai, Van Dyke, torn ACL, and this year Billy Edwards Jr., a sprained knee. And since then, Danny O'Neal unable to go. Hunter Simmons gets the call. And now Hunter Simmons starts from his back patio, and I think that was close to a safety.
Yeah, Tim, it's very, very close. That's such an outstanding job by number 44 in those uniforms that you love so much. Tatum Tuioti. He just comes screaming off the edge, and he barely gets the ball out of the end zone. There is no chance for this running back. Outstanding job by him to just get the ball out. Oh, no. Oh, no, they got to take a look. That elbow might have been down on the goal line.
I think it may have been.
Ruling on the field was that the runner was down at the 1-yard line. That play is under further review.
So, Tim, it looked like that elbow might have been down, but that was the foot of an offensive line that it landed on. And I think he just barely got it out of the end zone.
I'm with you. Tuioti, by the way, out of Hawaii. 3 tackles in that game at Rutgers that got out of hand very early in Piscataway.
Let's take a close look here. He's getting tackled. Try to keep your eyes on his arm. I think the legs are good. It looks like he's off the ground. Oh, that left knee might have grazed the turf. That left knee might have grazed the turf with the ball still in the end zone. However, you need a clear and obvious look for the call on the field to be changed.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's clear and obvious that it hit the ground. You maybe can infer that it did, but I don't know if it's sure.
I'm with you. I think what they thought they saw belonged to a defender, not to him. But to your point, if the knee did go down and that ball had not gotten beyond the plane of the end zone, then it's a safety.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. 2nd down.
Yeah, I think, Tim, it was just the fact that they didn't. You can't infer. You have to be clear and know that you changed the call, because the call on the field has to stand or be upheld.
Yes.
In the new terminology.
By the way, we would love to say that our program would have all of the cameras available, because we need them, yes. But we don't have a cart available, a cart camera that would go up and down the lines, simply because of the way Autzen is built. There's just very little room. This is sort of a football version of Fenway Park. Not much foul ground at Autzen Stadium. Gideon Atuka is in the backfield, out of the shotgun, and he bursts free past the 5, up to about the 7 or 8 yard line. And Betcher made the stop. The baseball whiz kid, a 13th round pick with the Astros out of South Eugene High School. 7-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
That's really good to get some space by Ituka. And they have an opportunity here. Remember, in that black zone, the goal is to get 2 first downs so that you can create some space and punt the football away. This will be the first of the 2 for Wisconsin.
Play clock winding down. Simmons rolls away from the pressure. Lets it fly, and it's caught. Vinny Anthony, one of the really few playmakers still in good health coming into tonight's game, and he's got a first down.
That's so good by Vinny Anthony. You can see him in the middle of your screen right there, just staying friendly for his quarterback, right? He sees the pursuit of Oregon start to pass him by, and he sets up inside. Now, for young quarterbacks, you always are told, don't throw the ball back across your body. However, if it's clear and sunny, you have to make that throw. Simmons does it for a first down.
We have not called Kekahuna's name. Tretch is really their go-to receiver. They go 4 wide now with Atuka in the backfield. And I'm impressed with the way Gideon Atuka runs. He's got some authority in the way he gets downhill. Thieneman, 31, again, coming up to make the stop, the free safety, after a gain of 5. You keep making 5 yards on first down in the ground game, then Wisconsin can begin to play their game.
That's a recipe for success. If you continue to get a productive first down play, it puts you in a great position. And what is a first down productive play? At least 4 yards, they get 5 there.
Out of the I formation, Atuka dots the I. He's got another 5. That's a first down at the 31.
The one thing that you're seeing consistently here early in the game is the offensive linemen of Wisconsin doing a nice job of using double teams and sometimes not, but being able to get to the second level. Watch here, you're going to see all the offensive linemen, either it's a double team and then they get to the second level. When you do that and you cover up those linebackers, it allows your running back to kind of sift through and find his way for a little extra yardage. He picks up a first down there.
Mateo Uiagalelei made the tackle. Look at that total yards to this point. Who would have thought that? This one's incomplete, intended for Anthony again. Learning that crossing pattern, a deep cross, or deep over as you guys use in your vernacular as quarterbacks. Second down and 10.
And he's covered by the true freshman, Brandon Finney Jr. About as impressive a freshman corner as I've ever studied. He is sound technically. He's athletically gifted. He has everything you want, and I don't think the country's talking enough about him.
Cade Giacomelli has checked back in. Dylan Jones is out for the year. Their first running back gone for the rest of the season. Giacomelli ahead to the 36, maybe the 37-yard line. And another healthy gain on the ground of 6. Third down and 4.
So, Tim, to avoid those offensive linemen getting up to the second level and covering up the linebackers are starting to flow a little faster. You can see there they got there a little faster, and it didn't give time for the offensive linemen. Now, when you see that, you can start to probably assume that Wisconsin will try some misdirection, go opposite ways, and give some window dressing to confuse the Oregon defense.
Third down and 4. 3 wides to the top of your screen. Simmons rolls left. That pass may be picked. Incomplete is the call. Looked to be Thieneman that almost had a chance to pick it off. Kekahuna was the intended receiver.
Yeah, and I highlight him before the play because they want to get him the football, but you've got an All-American chasing. A great job of standing your ground and then racing to the point, and a great job of breaking on the football by number 31 in black.
Well, you know, he left Purdue where all of his brothers and fathers, grandfathers played, but now he has an opportunity to win a lot of games, and he also gets to play more press coverage. He had been a backstop defensively for Purdue for such a long time.
25 yards deep.
Yep. Here's Sean West to boot it away. Gary Bryant has to back up. Bobbles in a moment. Regains equilibrium and gets it ahead past the 15 to about the 17 before being taken down. Well, the Badgers have done their best to shorten this game. Get something done on the ground. Play field position. It's what you got. How beautiful is that skyline? Scoreless late stages of the first quarter, and let's go down to Josh Sims.
Well, that Indiana loss was a huge learning experience for Dante Moore as a leader. Felt he wasn't vocal enough on the sideline during that game. Did not make the same mistake against Rutgers last week. A mistake early for the team. Made sure to hold his guys accountable, to talk to him and make sure that mistake did not fester. He gives credits to guys like Dylan Gabriel, the former Oregon quarterback that is, for giving him what he needed to be a leader, as well as our very own Devin Gardner for helping him come up and find his voice as a leader of this team.
Something Devin has been reminding me of all afternoon.
That's not true.
Thank you, Josh. 1st and 10. Whittington. Noah Whittington, not much. Maybe just a yard. By the way, in that game against Indiana, in one quarter, the last quarter of the game, they had 15 total yards. That's their lowest output of yardage in a single quarter. But right now, okay, Wisconsin is teetering with beating that. They have allowed now 6 yards so far in this quarter. 3 yards until that particular play. So actually we'll make it 3 because he didn't pick up any yards on that play. 2nd down and 10. And that pass goes incomplete. Corian Moore was trying to reel it in, but could not. 3 yards of offense so far for this team after that fourth quarter output of 15 against Indiana. By the way, the Hoosiers took care of UCLA's mini run earlier today in a very big way on our big noon game. 3rd down and 10. These Oregon wide receivers have not been able to get the separation that you would have anticipated against this very thin defensive back core for Wisconsin. As I say it, there's your completion. Jeremiah McClellan. And a 1st down, and they've gotten past the 15 total yards mark after that 20-yard gain. So Indiana's record remains intact.
Wisconsin tried to go with a simulated pressure. If you give Dante more time, he is going to shred you to pieces. A great job of layering that throw over the linebacker and dropping it right into the arms of his wide receiver.
I think we got a timeout before the snap.
Timeout, Wisconsin. Their first of the half. 30 seconds.
Mark Trusso wants to talk about it. Well, tomorrow on Fox, it's an NFC East rivalry. Rookie Jackson Dart leads the Giants against Hurts, Barkley, and the Eagles. Or Christian McCaffrey and the Niners take on the Texans, or other regional action. Check their local listings for the game in your area tomorrow on Fox. Some might be calling Oregon QB1 for the National Football League. Look at this. All of these guys currently starting. Remember, Herbert got a win on Thursday. Bo Nix, of course, we were here a couple of years ago when he went up against Caleb Williams in a big one. Marcus Mariota, of course, who was the Heisman Trophy winner on a team that played for the national title in 2014. And when you think about Dylan Gabriel and the job that he did, and in a lot of ways, Dante Moore's tour of duty as a backup to Dylan helped a tremendous amount, yes, but boy, the personality differences between Nix and Dylan Gabriel, and now this guy, Dante Moore, he might be probably somewhere in between those two guys from a personality standpoint. Boy, Whittington was wrapped up. I think Darrell Peterson got there about the time the ball was handed off by Dante.
Yeah, I talked about this in the first drive. It's the jump on the snap count. Number 17, Darrell Peterson. He does an outstanding. He's right to the left of your screen. He gets off the ball and hit, extend. When you're a defensive end, even though Sadiq is a nice blocker, you cannot allow tight ends to block you. He defeats it and gets there for the TFL.
2nd down and 12. Moore setting up a screen, and it's tipped into the air, and that ends that play that was set up, and guess who did it? Mason Posa again. I mean, this kid is all over the place.
Tim, I'm just telling you, they undersold him. They undersold him. He is a true freshman, and he is making play after play after play. Watch him come down. It's a perfectly designed play, a screen, but he jumps and just by the tip of his fingertip stops that screen from happening. There's a lot of space behind him. If he doesn't make that play, that could be a big one.
And Dante is not short. I mean, he's 6'3". He's got all the measurables. Posa just had a pretty good vertical leap to make that ball go awry. 3rd and 12. Moore zips it incomplete. Throw is a bit too high for Decorian Moore. And it's another 4th down and a punt formation coming up.
And this Wisconsin defense is playing such good football, but I'm just telling you, number 8, Mason Posa, is everywhere. He's in the run game, he's in the pass game, he's doing everything he can as a true freshman in his first start at Austin Stadium to make sure his team has a chance.
James Ferguson Reynolds coming off that magnificent punt all the way down to the 1-yard line his last try. Will boot it again. Should get it off around the 27. Jaden Ballard is back deep. And we've got markers down pre-snap. Looks like this is a false start.
Full start, kicking team, number 0, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Now, Tim, in the open, I talked about this Wisconsin team. Everybody's talking about a mutiny and how you've lost the team if you're Luke Fickell. And
right.
I made it clear that's not the case. And you can see this is a perfect example of this. You have a player in Christian Allegro who breaks his arm, down 3 scores, comes back into the game and fights for his team. Then he makes the trip here. I'm just telling you, this Wisconsin team did not come to quit, and they're going to give Oregon everything they've got.
Defensively, they are in control of this game at this stage. One big play for Wisconsin, whether it's special teams or on offense, and they can get the lead here. Ballard with the fair catch, and Wisconsin will take over. 50-yard boot. Well, here's what that defense of Wisconsin has been doing so far.
I mean, they have been amazing in the run game. Look at that, number 8, Posa on the play. Number 17, Peterson. They have done a nice job of trying to corral Dante Moore and have gotten to him on multiple occasions. And you can see there one more time for number 8 in white, Mason Posa.
Cade Giacomelli is in at running back to start this series. Gideon Atuka has been very impressive, the 5'9", 227-pounder out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. But right now it's Giacomelli. This pass is way over the head of Grant Steck. Another redshirt freshman playing tight end. Simmons just airmailed it through the end of one. I'd say this is, maybe a scoreless game, but Wisconsin's got their mojo on, even though the game is tight. Give me a little Grateful Dead to break, Kelly. We'll take it. These numbers are pretty incredible. Those numbers have led to no points. And the numbers for Oregon are far worse than what you see Wisconsin has. Pretty amazing. Gideon Atuka is in the backfield as we open the second quarter. 2nd down and 10. And a little pre-snap movement. The big man. You're not going to miss this kid. Amari Washington coming through there, number 52. All 6'3", 330 out of Detroit, Michigan, coming right to you. See if he was induced.
Offside. Defense, number 52, unevaded to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Tim, I talked about changing the snap count, right? What he's trying to do is time up the head bob, right? You're going to see here, he saw the head bob, and he thought this ball has to be coming at some point. It's not coming just yet. Good job by Wisconsin. Find a way to get out of that 2nd and long. They haven't had many of them, and that is not conducive to success on their offense.
Atuka, 1st down. Out to the 37-yard line. Bryce Betcher again in on the stop. Top tackler against Rutgers, had 7 of them in that game.
Take a look at Mateo Uiagalelei. He's the edge protector right here, but he comes in too far, right? He comes in way too far, and it allows for the running back, Gideon Atuka, to get outside and pick up nice yards enough for a 1st down.
Simmons shouting some instructions, audibilizing, and Atuka, he saw something in that defensive set and took advantage of it by checking into that running play. And again, Bryce Betcher with a saving stop.
This is what we call, Tim, winner blocks. The opportunity to get right to the 2nd level. You're going to go here, to the linebacker. There's nobody to stop him from getting there. He gets right up to him, covers him up, and it creates a huge cavity in the defense, and it allows for Etuka to pick up another first down.
And give Simmons some credit. Jeff Grimes, his offensive coordinator, making the decision to go with him after Danny O'Neil had a nightmarish game in relief of Billy Edwards after he had been hurt. Getting Etuka again taking it, but not much room this time.
I think one of the defensive ends in the country that don't get enough credit, Tatum Tuioti. I mean, just watch him again get to the runner before it can even get started. He comes right off the butt of that tackle, just like you practice it, and he gets there before the fullback, Jackson Aker, can get to him.
Extra tight end comes in. Yakameli is the lone setback. 2nd and 10. Yakameli gets back all but about 2 yards of that 10. Bryce Betcher with another stop. Tell you, the run blocking for this offensive front, which has got all kinds of issues. Davis Heinzen is operating at center. Renfro unable to go. Kadanko out. So Colin Coverly moves into that spot at right guard. This is the 7th different starting offensive line in 8 games for Wisconsin.
I don't think Wisconsin is afraid to go for it, so I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try to put this ball in the air and pick up a big chunk on 3rd and short.
Etuka has the first down. Tuioti with the stop. He leads the team with tackles for losses, coming in with 8 of them.
It's because of his trigger. His quick trigger off the ball, almost backside plays. He gets there, he stays tight to the butt of the tackles. He does an outstanding job. That time, he gets there in just enough time to stop him and pick up a first down.
I'm absolutely amazed at that spot.
Yeah.
That's 2 times in a row. I cannot believe that they marked that short of the first down.
Yeah, I have to agree, Tim. It looks like he clearly got the first down, but they play on.
I think I'd ask for it. I think that's exactly what Luke Fickell is thinking. Like, are you kidding me? 2 times in a row?
All right, so remember, the yellow line is unofficial. However, with the hand down and full extension, I don't think it's even close that he didn't get the first down.
No, I mean,
he certainly picked it up, and I think this is going to be a fairly quick review. If they do review it, it looks like they're not currently.
And by the way, I think they are. I think they are now.
It might be one of those expedited reviews.
Yeah. And it's only because the timeout was called by Fickell.
Yeah, and so that's important because now you use a timeout that you may need at the end of the half.
He'll get this one back, I suspect. But he had to ask for it. He had to ask for the timeout to have them look at it. Listen, from the waist forward, he was over by a good half yard to a yard the line to make.
You were all over it. You're absolutely right. And I was prepared to say, Tuioti, he gets there, but not enough time. But then I look down, and it's 4th down. I'm like, well, I guess he stops him just before.
Yeah. Left foot spot versus right foot spot. Happens all the time. I know the NFL has some technical tools to help with this process that college doesn't have, but sometimes you just have to understand where the ball is.
Wisconsin is challenging the ruling on the field that the runner was down short of the line to gain. We will review the play.
And here we go through the protocol.
Tim,
I
do not agree with this, forcing them to use one of their challenges. I think they're certainly going to win it.
Yeah.
However, you're forcing them to use their challenge, this seems like a perfect opportunity for that expedited review. Hey, we might have gotten it wrong on the field, but we can fix it, and they just do not. Hey, Tim, how weird would it be if we lay it on so thick and then they say, yep, still not a first down. Let's take another look. Maybe we missed something here.
Well, I know that.
So he's contacted in the backfield, but that hand down and then that extension, I don't think it's close.
Yeah. I realize the Grateful Dead didn't do Lion Eyes, the Eagles did. But I think that's what we got going on here, a case of some Lion Eyes. I mean, it should be easy.
Yeah.
I realize it's been a tough year on Luke Fickell, but he must be thinking, what else do we have to do to get a first down? And by the way, every inch means a lot in the kind of game he's having to play because his offense is so depleted with injuries.
Of course. Every inch, every timeout, every challenge, it all matters here for Wisconsin.
And it's taking entirely too long. All right, what we're being told is they needed to get to the 42.5. He's not down there. He's not. And he's down there.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is upheld.
Oh, my goodness.
The runner was down short of the line to gain. Wisconsin is charged with their second timeout of the half, and they have lost their challenge for the remainder of the game.
Absolutely brutal.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. I think everybody watching, including Oregon fans, are thinking, well, we got away with one there because I just don't see that being correct, but they got all the angles, and they came away and said that he was short.
Don't believe your lying eyes.
I remember in the Outback Bowl, University of Michigan versus South Carolina, we got one that we didn't deserve, and then the next play was dangerous. Davian Clowney got into the backfield. You might see something like that here.
Matuka, again, will dot the I. Aker is the up back, 34. Aker gets it. Easy first down.
That was almost the biggest ball don't lie score on a fourth and very, very short that you'll ever see. A gain of 10 by Aker on the fullback dive. Outstanding call there by offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes. Gets the ball right away, and it kind of surprises Betcher, who gets there too early, can't make the play, and a saving tackle, touchdown saving tackle by Thieneman.
Yeah, he was almost to the second level, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was the offensive version of the Davian Clowney hit.
That's a great memory on your part with Jadeveon Clowney.
I was there.
Yeah. Matuka with a late marker coming down, thrown in an area where holding could be the call. Looked like the umpire that threw it. Stop was made by Jerry Mixon, the inside linebacker. Just a gain of 2.
Holding. Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, this holding is caused by that quick get off of Amari Washington, number 52. Watch right in the middle of your screen there, the center. He tries to get to him, but he just can't get across the face. Great job of getting skinny, turning those shoulders for Washington, and forcing the takedown.
Yeah, by the way, this is a guy that's a normal tackle, pressed into duty to play center because of the injury to Jake Renfro.
And to this point in the game, he's played well. However, he set his offense back there. This is not an offense that's prepared to pick up yards in these long downs and distances, and they go tackle over here.
First down and 20. Coming back the other way. They dodged a bullet that time. They were coming back the other way after the rollout right, and Oregon was prepared, and that could have been perhaps a pick six going the other way.
Yeah, they go all tackle over, and you got 3 guys for Oregon that are going to be disciplined and make sure they're in position to make this play. Outstanding job by a true freshman corner, a linebacker, and a defensive lineman.
Josh Lapoy has his guys lined up where they need to be as well. Second down and 20. See if they can find Vinny Anthony again. Number 8, Matuka. He's been the most effective offensive player for Wisconsin. Running into the Bear Alexander. Talk about a quick, big man. He is that. Of course, made his way from Georgia to USC and on to Oregon. Only realizing his potential now in many respects.
Yeah, he didn't start the season as a starter, and that sent the message across this program that, hey, if you aren't performing, you will not start. He's earned his opportunities.
Third down and 13. Deep for Anthony. Ball hung up in the air just a little, allowing Aaron Flowers to get over and knock it away.
This is what you call cover 2, where a safety's over the top. In a corner, they have to stay connected. As they stay connected, you're going to see it's a tight window to make this throw. You got a long corner, a safety over the top. There's not a lot of space. It's a good effort by Simmons to make this throw, but a nice job coming over the top for Flowers, and he almost makes an outstanding interception.
So they're going to play field position. That was a really good drive for Wisconsin, their best of the evening. Atticus Bertrams will punt it away. And I think we hear some whistles pre-snap. Atticus setting up to get that coffin corner boot off rather than Sean West.
Delay game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
They may have wanted that, actually. Could give him a little extra room to work with.
You know, I never understood why you don't decline it. I would every time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you the luxury of having more space to punt.
Gary Bryant is at his 10 in single safety. Yeah, this is a beautiful high punt. Let's see what happens with it. Oh, look at that coverage. Look at that coverage. An extra 5 yards. Didn't hurt, did it? Vinny Anthony motored down there to catch that baby in the field of play. Yes, indeed. Play the old Big Ten way. Field position football, Keith. Field position football.
Welcome back to Austin Stadium. I know you're surprised. It's still 0-0, but let's take a look at a play of why Brandon Finney can play cover 2, right? Everybody knows cover 2, he's supposed to be in the flat. Why can he back up? Well, the reason he can is because he doesn't have an immediate threat in his flat. So when he doesn't have an immediate threat, he can continue to carry down the field, and it closes that window, and it doesn't allow Simmons to make the throw.
You did that really, really well.
You like that?
Oh,
Little teaching moment.
yeah. The welcome back was even better. Out of the shotgun from the goal line, Davison gets it out to about the 3. After 20 minutes in this game, okay, Wisconsin had 91 yards, Oregon 24. Wisconsin 79 yards rushing, Oregon minus 13. Wisconsin 5 first downs, Oregon 2. Now, think about that. How do you have a close game when you have a 2-5 team that's without much of its skilled personnel? That's how you do it. With defense, with aggression, and with a culture. And Wisconsin still has its culture, even though they're having a losing season. Davison burrows to head to about the 5-yard line. You know, listen, Luke Fickell's been hearing it all. The noise is out there. I mean, they've been banging on the doors at Camp Randall. A lot of no-shows for home games, and he's aware of it. I mean, it's something that he has mentioned more than just a couple of times this week. And with all these podcasters out there now that want to say, well, oh, the relationships with high school coaches just isn't there anymore. How much do they really, really know? Probably not much. Out of the end zone, Moore. This one is caught. It's a first down. Out to the 25. It's Jeremiah McClellan. He's got 2 grabs. So Moore sees something in him. He's got the only 2 for wide receivers.
As the rain comes down, I love the trust of offensive coordinator Will Stein to still put the ball in the air. You got free access with the tight split. A perfect throw from Dante Moore.
Ruling out at the 23-yard line. Still a first down.
You can see that rain coming down, but apparently throwing the ball won't be an issue.
Davison got those short, choppy steps that, by the way, when it's a little wet downstairs, you like that as an offensive coordinator. Catalano coming over to make the stop. Cooper has been all over the place, number 44, along with Mason Posa. 2nd down and 3 after a gain of 7. There they go again. Davison. Oh, Will Stein sees something now in the Wisconsin alignment, and they decide to start gouging the ground game between the tackles.
Yeah, they bring a blitz from the true freshman, and they do just a nice job of trapping him right there with Sadiq, and it creates a huge cavity.
Under 7 minutes remaining in the half. Moore, that ball is tipped, and I think McClellan may have come up, and now they're going to rule it incomplete. I thought he may have grabbed it. Corey Walker in 92. Another guy pressed into duty due to the injuries. 5th-year player out of Western Michigan. He transferred. in, tipped that ball, and they did give him 2 on the catch. The
If you
catch
can't
was
get to
made.
the quarterback, Tim, you got to get your hands up in the passing lane. A nice job by big number 92, Corey Walker.
And a heck of a catch by McClellan, albeit for just a couple of yards. Pierre Hill, number 23 now in the game at running back. His first toe. And he's spun down shy of the 45 at the 44. Mason Posa, number 8, in on the tackle.
You know, coaches always give coach speak and say, hey, if you're good enough, you'll play. But you don't often see it. Well, you see a bunch of different running backs for Oregon contributing. And the reason is Coach Dan Lanning said, if you're good enough and you're above the line, you will have a chance to play. So all these running backs have earned opportunities, and that's why you see so many of them. That's what a player wants to hear.
Is there any more enjoyable head coach to visit with in college football before a game than Dan Lanning? There you see the shallow cross to Johnson. Jamari Johnson has a first down, and the biggest play of the night so far.
That's a really well-designed play and a great, well-timed call by Will Stein. It's a screen play. It's third down. You draw the defense in, and then those offensive linemen have to get to the second level. Take a look at the big center, number 72, Iapane Lalo Ulu.
Ah, you did that well.
He gets a pancake. They call him Pancho.
Yeah, and I think you should call him Pancho
Yeah,
for the rest of the
here
night.
on out, moving forward, he'll be Pancho in the middle.
First down, Davison. And we got markers down prior to the snap at the line of scrimmage.
Full start. Offense. Not all 11 players became set for the snap. 5-yard penalty.
Well,
First
you
down.
get your motor running, and Stein knows that when they play fast, when they play quick, they're at their best. They certainly did that to Rutgers in Piscataway last week.
Now, Tim, I know that's a penalty, but I want you to take a look at this true freshman wide receiver coming around to block a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't see it. He's one of the most talented guys on the football field as a pass catcher, and he comes and puts his right shoulder in there, even though that play did not exist.
That's DeCorian Moore, the freshman out of Duncanville, Texas, right out of Friday Night Lights. He laid the lumber, didn't he? First down, 15. There are those quick feet again. Davison down to the 27. This looks a little more like Oregon now. Gain of 11. Agard, Emilio Agard, number 6, making the stop, coming up from cornerback.
You can see this talented offensive line start to feel themselves, led by their center, number 72, Pancho. Watch every single white jersey get covered up, even the blitzing linebacker coming in too early. Outstanding job by Davison, just finding his way through. Another true freshman for Oregon.
Second down and 4. For the first time, the Badgers defense a little on their heels. Jordan Davison's had a lot to do with it since coming in. There he goes again for a first down. 6 yards that time.
When we talked to offensive coordinator Will Stein, he said in that Indiana game, he was so mad at himself because he said, why didn't I just run duo? Everybody knows duo. 2 people going to the second level, double teaming, and they are doing that all the way down the field.
Now before this drive, Oregon had 16 yards rush, 16 rushes, minus 16, I should say, on this drive, 40 yards alone. So they have certainly gotten into the positive yardage on the ground on this drive. Dante calling his own number this time, inside the 20 to the 16. Gain of 5. Tell you, he's got some sleight of hand about him, and he is a real cool hand Luke, isn't he?
Oh, of course, no matter what's going on around him, he stays cool, he stays calm. And you can see, even though it was a slow start, at some point you had to know that Oregon would pick it up.
He's had to persevere his whole life. Why not tonight? Davison. As you run out of terrain and you get into that red zone, The yardage a little more difficult to come by.
Yeah, you're
3rd and 2 after that.
You're absolutely right, and the defense starts to tighten up, right? Those linebackers, those defensive linemen, they start to bear down, and so pass plays are not off limits here. You have the opportunity in the 3rd and short situation to get the ball behind some of those linebackers and those low safeties.
And you can really hear from field level the wind picking up now. Gary Bryant is in there in the backfield. It's Davison for the first down to the 9. And we're at the 2-minute timeout. And for the first time, Oregon in the red zone of Wisconsin with a chance to get on the board. But the Badgers, though beleaguered and battered, have begrudgingly stayed in this game to this point. College football on FS1, sponsored by Graduate by Hilton. Spirited stays in your favorite college towns. Always love our visits to Eugene. They look at the play selection in this drive. They've done it on the ground. The addition of Jordan Davison has a lot to do with it. Listen to this, Devin. In the drives prior to this one, okay, before this drive, 4 possessions, 18 plays, 26 yards in 7.5 minutes. This drive, 13 plays, 90 yards in 7.5 minutes. First and goal. Dante inside the 5. Marker down, so hold everything. It's thrown in the backfield, back around the 15-yard line. Stop made by Catalana.
Look like the referee is signaling an offsides by Wisconsin.
Catalano was the man that made the tackle, and this offsides will probably be negated.
You can see there the rain is picking up.
And the wind is too.
Offside.
Yep.
Defense, number 17, lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
Yeah, they take the penalty because it remains first down with the ball halfway to the end zone. First and goal. That was Darrell Peterson that lined up offsides.
The one thing that you have to know about this Wisconsin defense is though they've struggled in the run game, 5th in the Big Ten, 18th in the country, stopping the run. And they're in a position right now where they have an opportunity to bow their necks and stand strong.
There's a meathead reference if I've ever heard one. You got to bow your neck, son.
That's right.
Jordan Davison, the lone setback. Bring those tight ends in, right? 12, 13 personnel. Bootleg action. Moore's pass is incomplete. Well covered. DeCorian Moore, the intended receiver. Second and goal.
Yeah, they tried to sneak DeCorian Moore as well as Kenyon Sadiq into the end zone, but Wisconsin was all over it there in the face of Dante Moore, and he can't get a good look and make the throw.
This is, if you're going to throw the ball, Sadiq country, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is where you'd be looking for a junior out of Idaho Falls, Idaho. Played so big in that Big Ten championship game against Penn State. 4-star recruit coming out of high school. Again, whistles blowing as Catalano darts through there to get a tackle for loss, but hold everything.
Looks like the right guard might have gotten a head start.
Yeah.
Number 74, Dave Iuli.
Encroachment. Offense, number 11, lined up at the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Second
So
down.
McClellan,
Yeah.
Jeremiah McClellan lined up offsides. And there's an equalizer that'll back them up. Yeah, he's way past the line of scrimmage.
Way
Yeah.
past the line of scrimmage.
That's one of those, if you miss it, somebody in the supervisor's office might notice. You want to get the call to work next week. Second and goal. McClellan is safely on sides this time.
The safety comes down. You
Yeah.
got more.
White, it's Sadiq time. And Sadiq gets it down to the 2. Matthew Young, free safety, kept him out of the end zone. It'll be third and goal.
I love the play selection on this drive by offensive coordinator Will Stein. He doesn't seem to be under pressure in any way, right? He's just letting the offense run itself. If he needs to run it, he runs it when he calls the screens at the perfect time, and now he puts himself down inside the 5 with an opportunity to put a touchdown on the board.
And there can't be any doubt, right? This is 4-down territory. Zach Grace has come in, the extra tight end. Davison, touchdown!
We haven't seen Tackett Curtis in the game much. He's in right here. He's the unblocked defender. He has to make this play. He can't make it, and it's a walk-in touchdown for Davison. We haven't seen much of him because of the production of Mason Posa and Cooper Catalano. Well, he comes in the game down in that crunch situation, and he's unable to make the play unblocked.
Well, that puts Davison in Oregon's freshman top 5 in rushing touchdowns. That was his 9th of the year. And there have been some incredible freshman running backs in Oregon history. Oregon playing their style of football on that drive.
Oh, yeah.
Will Stein, the maestro, calling all the strings. Davison had to work awfully hard to get in. 7-0. Will Sarge, we look forward to it. Oregon finally cracks through on their last drive. 99 yards on that drive. The rest of the game, they were really backed up by this feisty group from Madison, Wisconsin that you knew would play with a lot of incentive and a lot of purpose in the wake of their most recent blowout, and understanding that offensively they just are without a lot of weaponry, and their defense has to play nearly perfect football for them to have a chance.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, Tim, that Oregon offense, I think, was surprised by those freshman starting linebackers.
Yeah.
And they didn't understand their speed and intensity, and they're starting to figure it out now.
Benny Anthony has a lane. And he gets it out to the 33. I thought for a moment if he had stayed down the sideline, he might have been a little better off. He decided to cut against the grain. Well, the little bug, the old VW doodle bug, we called it back in the 70s, Devin. Those were little doodle bugs.
Doodle bug.
Back in the day.
Little doodle bug.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call spirit that's committed. Absolutely committed.
Committed-ish.
Yeah. The moss may not be where she wanted it. The mascara may be flowing in the wrong direction, but she's committed.
Oh, yeah.
First and 10 with a minute left. One would think Wisconsin would be happy with a 7-point game at the break and just get out of Dodge and get something dry, but they're going to take, Oregon's going to take a timeout.
Yeah, Oregon has 3 timeouts, so if you're Wisconsin, you got to do your best to pick up a first down because you played so well offensively, defensively, mostly. Offensively, you've kind of weathered the storm, and you don't want to allow Oregon to get points on the board before the half after playing so well defensively.
Yeah, no question. I mentioned earlier about Simmons when he came in. He's managed the game and checked into some good plays from time to time.
Yeah.
I think I just spoke a little earlier in the game when I mentioned Danny O'Neal being out, but he really was just replaced by Simmons after having a nightmarish game in the wake of them losing Billy Edwards for the season. And frankly, that has been the bugaboo all along for Wisconsin. And say what you want, when you lose your starting quarterback right out of the gates, and for it to happen 3 straight years is unbelievable. And that's what's happened to Luke Fickell.
If there was a Disney movie created where that was the plot, everybody's saying this is fake.
No question. 2nd and 7. Matuka ahead for about 2 more. Amari Washington to stop and another timeout. Oregon's going to use them all here with hopes that they'll get the ball back. Well, earlier this week, Dan Lanning said that he had no illusions about how tough modern college football is, that any game can reach out and bite you.
football wins you every week. So it's great as this win was to see us accomplish, to our standard what we wanted to be able to do. We got to come to work next week again, and it's never going to be easy. So it's really not about what you've done, for me lately. It's about right now.
And a lot of teams, Devin, let me take it a step further. A lot of teams, I think, are responding to coaches who might be in desperate situations to hold on to their jobs. Lane Kiffin, that story was a big one for Ole Miss going into today's game. You look at LSU's situation with Brian Kelly tonight against Texas A&M. People think in the aftermath of what happened to James Franklin, it could happen to them anytime.
And I love the way he put it. Every single week, rent is due. And Oregon looks to pay some rent here and stop Wisconsin from picking up a first down to get the ball back for the offense.
And that's exactly how Lanning would describe it. You got to pay your rent. 3rd and 5. Oh, that's just another really good, solid run for Atuka. Now, let's make sure that they give him the yardage for the first down. I'm going to wait for a while before I see the sticks move. We've had a little spotting issue in the first half for Wisconsin.
And you have to be proud if you're Luke Fickell, your offense here. Obviously still moving down the field, but you don't want to do anything drastic. Continue to run the football, get out of this half 7-0, but they've done a nice job, and picking up that first down was huge.
They do have a little bit of field position to work with. Be interesting to see if they let Simmons throw one. Nope. Atuka. Game plan is to stay close, hang around. Maybe something good happens late, and we can get out of here with a W.
Yeah, I like the decision to run the football like I spoke about. Get out of the half. You play really good football defensively. And like I talked about, offensively, you weather the storm. But guess what? You get a whole other opportunity after the half.
I mentioned old-time Big Ten football. These runners are like pistons in their legs, Keith. I'm telling you, this is power football, boys. As we throw it to Mike Hill, this has been a power football game, Coach Pete and Bruce Feldman. Power football. And how do you do? The key word is grateful tonight. Our Lowe's by the Numbers, sponsored by Lowe's. Score with Lowe's app. Download it now. And here are the first half numbers. And look at that. And Devin, I got to tell you, something that we learned in broadcasting school a long time ago. Don't adjust your set. The score is 7-0.
Yes, it is. And a lot of it is because of that Wisconsin defense. They have come to play. And it's not often that you insert a true freshman linebacker and he makes a huge difference. But that's what we have. He was all over the field in the first and the second quarter. So if you're Will Stein, the offensive coordinator, what do? He's flying all over the field. Let's put him in some action. And here's one example. You design a screen where you can get those offensive linemen to the second level, get him moving backwards, block him, and create opportunities down the field. They've done a nice job at the end of the second quarter on offense for Oregon. Can they continue that same success now that they know about these true freshman linebackers?
Noah Whittington awaits the kick. Oregon will possess the ball to start this game, and after the touchback, let's go down to Josh Sims.
Well, the goal for this game for Dan Lanning and Oregon was to start the game fast. That's why you saw that onside kick to start the game. Now that drive did stall out. Lanning told me it took too long for them to get points on the board, but once they established that running game, that's when things really started to open up. So he told me in this second half, we got to be able to run the ball, put points on the board, and put this game away.
Well, let's not forget, in terms of starting fast, they began with an onside kick. Got possession of the ball and did nothing with it. And from that point on, they were stymied until that 99-yard drive that Will Stein got going. First down from the 25 with Noah Whittington in the backfield. Extra tight end. Quick pitch. And Whittington takes off. Big time. I'd say that's running the ball, and I'd say that's running fast. Wouldn't you? Austin Brown with the tackle, 35 yards.
I mean, how about our guy, Josh R. Sims, getting us the information and foreshadowing what we just saw there. An outstanding job of the offensive line. Look at those big fellas down the field running with their talented running back.
I don't know that I've ever seen a 360 spin off a toss sweep. And Whittington had it. Now he goes 10 more yards. Down to the 30. Catalano, 44 with the tackle. One of those freshmen of influence in that first half.
Watch the interior of this offensive line. This is what you call duo, double to the second level. You can see them getting to the linebackers. That's one thing they weren't able to do early in the game, and they're figuring that out. And it started with that 90-yard drive.
Yeah, looks like the Ducks are trying to come out and make a statement in this opening drive. Get their act together. Begins with running the football and running it fast. On the RPO that time, Dante Moore with the keeper. It's ahead for a yard, and that's all. Kevin Gardner met him at an autograph get-together while playing Michigan football. That's Dante checking out. Coming over to the sidelines. Looks like he's a little banged up here.
Yeah, he's got blood on his nose there.
Ooh, boy. Yeah, he got popped pretty good. Blood coming out profusely there. But you met him when he was about, what, 8, 9 years old? I believe you did. There's the hit.
And
that
again,
brought it.
Number 8, Tosa comes in. He clubs his arm over the face mask of Dante Moore. And a lot of times that helmet will slide down on your nose.
Nothing malicious intended, but certainly had an effect.
No, Tim. Number 8, he's violent.
Yeah,
it's
yes,
always
he is.
malicious intent when you're a linebacker.
Yeah.
A good one, at least.
Yeah. And he's going to have to come and sit for a little while.
It's good to see him get up on his feet.
Looks like Austin Novosad is warming up, about to come in for it. We'll be back. Number 16 warming up. That's Novosad. But Brock Thomas, the youngster from Eugene South here in Eugene, Oregon, got some playing time. He played at Sheldon High School, same high school as Mr. Herbert. And he's in the game now to spell the injured Dante Moore, who's dealing with a bloody nose. Hill and Davison are the setbacks flanking him. Davison towards the boundary, and again, sideline to sideline, Wisconsin will get there. Ben Barton made the tackle, number 68.
Here's another look at what happened to Dante and why Brock Thomas is in the game, right? Just a club over the face mask that made him have a bloody nose there. And more on Brock Thomas, when we talked to Dan Lanning, he said, listen, if you're above the line, you'll get a chance. And he's performed well, so he gets his opportunity here.
Looks like this is going to be a free play if he wants it. And he finds his man, DeCorian Moore. Moore is getting Moore down to the 5-yard line. Markers down, though, back at the 35-yard line. I see a little yellow hanky.
Yeah, he got him off sides, right?
Yeah.
He got the...
Right. Should be a free play, as I mentioned, in real time.
How about the redshirt sophomore Brock Thomas? Understand the situation. You got a free play. Get it to your best playmaker. DeCorian Moore finds a way down the field, and I imagine that both these penalties will be on Wisconsin's defense.
He knew it, too, right away.
Here's the initial penalty, right? Posa. But then he stops, right? He's a true freshman, right? Hasn't played a lot of ball. You have to remember, hey, you have to continue to play there. I don't think he would have been able to affect that play as much. But a nice job by Brock Thomas. That might be a late hit by big number 72, Pancha.
Would be a little halfway
Offside.
closer to the field.
Defense, number 8. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is the first down. After the play was over, personal foul. Defense, number 72. Half the distance to the goal.
I think he meant offense. I think he misspoke there.
Right.
After the play was over, personal foul, offense, number 72. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down and 10.
Fickle's got to be saying to himself, really? You're going to put me through that, too?
The emotional roller coaster just continues.
Oh, my goodness.
For Luke Fickell, but they did make a mistake, and you can see just a little extra, and then another extra there. Too much. A lot of extra. Love the effort, though. Love the effort, right?
Yep.
You got to be smart about it. 15-yard penalty puts you back, but you do have a first down.
You know, no matter how hard it rains, he's got a hoodie, but he won't put it on. You know, he's an old wrestler, Luke Fickell.
Way too tough.
Way too tough to put a hoodie on. First down from the 20.
I know you got a young quarterback out, but you got a lot of space out here with one-on-one coverage to the top of your screen.
Brock Thomas to Davison. The stretch play, cuts it back. He is in there. Touchdown.
Tim and fans at home, let's just enjoy 2 pancakes by big number 71, Alex Harkey. Right, he gets outside, pancake number 1. That's breakfast. Right now he's in front. Who's next? Give it to me now, Holman. You go down to a touchdown for the Ducks.
Stay out of Alex Harkey's way. Couple of stops at Colorado in 2022 and Texas State after that. And the young man found his way to the Pacific Northwest. And he's eating the same amount of pancakes here as he did up in Colorado and down there in Texas too. You ought to try waffles every now and then. You know, it can't be just pancakes all the time. College football on FS1, sponsored by Graduate by Hilton. Spirited stays in your favorite college towns. That's my favorite Duck, no doubt about it. Well, Jordan Davison, everything started getting better. Trust me, he's in that group right there. Everything started getting better for their offense when he came into the game. Only Royce Freeman has more rushing touchdowns for a true freshman in Oregon history than Davison. Freeman has 18 all time, Davison with 10. Vinny Anthony is back deep, awaiting the kick. Anthony got ahead of steam. That's a pretty good return out to the 36-yard line. Let's go down to Josh Sims.
Well, Timmy B, like Luke Fickell told us this week, there is no quit in his team. That was evident in the first half. Especially happy with the way the defense started in the game. But he said, hey, we got to get some turnovers on defense, get the ball back to our offense. And on offense, we got to get some push up front. We got to be able to run the ball, but they're going to have to do it without Cade Yakimelli out the rest of the game with an upper body injury. So a blow to this Wisconsin backfield that's already reeling.
Oh, yeah, that's like misery-loving company, not having Yakimelli involved. And the inability to get turnovers has been problematic for Wisconsin defensively all year.
And Wisconsin ran the ball well in the first half, but you have to expect that Oregon is going to have answers for it. As you can see, Simmons moving to the next play here. So they may have to take a shot at some point.
Bootleg action. Looping it. Ball hung up in the air. It's going to be ruled incomplete. Up around the 40-yard line. That's Crowdus. That was the intended receiver to go Crowdus. And Thieneman over there almost had another shot at a pick.
Yeah, you thought they would at some point take a shot because that defense for Oregon is starting to tighten up on the run. But when you have a former All-American as a freshman and Thieneman in the back end, he is prepared and ready for any opportunities down the field.
Shotgun, Atuka in the backfield. And markers fly again.
Left tackle number 71 got a little antsy, Malman.
Yep.
Full start, offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty, second out.
He started all 7 games. First one at right tackle, last 6 at left tackle. He's a veteran up there, just did not hold his water.
Right, and this is what Wisconsin avoided in the first half for the most part. These second and long distances, so you have a lot of them on your call sheet. However, this is not conducive to them having success as an offense.
Hunter Simmons, redshirt senior out of Marion, Illinois.
We haven't heard from their talented wide receiver, Tretch Hekahuna.
Atuka, well, he has run with authority all night long, and he's got another first down on a tremendous gain, and he's got a jabber about it, too, along that Oregon sideline. A little woofing going on after he was picking him up and putting him down.
It's a really nice job by number 86. You can see in motion there, Lance Mason. He blocks one guy, and then he gets to the second level, secures the second level, and allows for Gideon Ituka to pick up yardage. Another first down for him. I mean, he has picked up a number of first downs on the ground in the first half, and he continues that here in the second.
18 yards on that carry. I love the fact that he switched hands as he was headed in that direction, too, on that running play. Lost art among many young backs. In traffic, into double coverage. Simmons tried to fit it in there to Lance Mason, but Betcher knocked it away.
I just love the discipline of this Oregon defense. And a lot of credit goes to defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoi, because the way that Wisconsin have run the ball, you would think that these linebackers would be a lot more antsy. They would get downhill and maybe not take care of their responsibilities. But there you see a veteran, Bryce Betcher, doing a nice job of not committing to the run, staying there in his responsibility, and knocking that ball away.
We spent a lot of time last week on their defense inside the red zone. They're better than almost everybody at keeping them out of the red zone. Not many times the teams cross midfield against this Oregon defense. Jerry Mixon makes the stop after Atuka picks up 3. But I mean, you gotta love the overall approach that this defense has, without question. They rank high in just about every category.
Hey, Tim, number 87, Jackson McGowan just entered the game, and it's been alerted to me that when he enters the game, they don't really love him as a blocker, so I expect for this to be a pass downfield, maybe not to him, but to someone on this offense for Wisconsin.
He's number 87. Third down 7. Simmons making a change.
Gotta hurry.
Yep. Used up too much of the clock. They did get a timeout from the sidelines.
Prior to the expiration of the play clock, timeout, Wisconsin. Their first of the half, 30 seconds.
Simmons was audibilizing and got his mind a little bit off that clock, which can happen very easily in the college game. And Luke Fickell quickly got the timeout. Well, next week, you start your Saturday strong yet again. Undefeated and top-ranked Ohio State, taking on rival Penn State at the Old Horseshoe of the banks of the Olentangy. It all starts at 10 a.m. Eastern with big noon kickoff live from Columbus. Then Penn State, Ohio State, big noon Saturday only on Fox. And obviously the storyline to that game has changed measurably.
So what I talked
the last
about with
3.5 weeks.
What I talked about with 87, Jackson McGowan, he's now on the sideline, right? So now you have more options, right? It may be a run, it could be a pass. If I'm Wisconsin here, they've had success on the ground. I run the football, see what you get, and possibly think about going for it on 4th down.
Simmons, he's resourceful, incomplete. Led his receiver a bit too far. He was going for Jaden Ballard. 4th and 7, and that may be a little too long, don't you think, to go for it? Yeah, I think they're going to have to punt it away.
I mean, this coverage by true freshman cornerback Brandon Finney Jr. is exceptional. Does a really nice job of just chasing and making sure that this play cannot happen. This is so difficult. It's a pick play, and he is right in the hip pocket, making sure that play cannot be executed.
Atticus Bertram will punt it away. Remember, the Badgers are scoreless now in 14 consecutive quarters. 14 consecutive quarters. That's a fair catch by Bryant. And Oregon will take over on their patio. But the Ducks got the quick score in their opening drive of the second. And a matchup like this, 14 may feel like 40 for the Badgers.
Welcome back to Austin Stadium, where the score is now a 2-score lead for Oregon. And how and why? It's because of these offensive linemen. I don't think you've ever seen a more athletic group of men who are 300 pounds plus running down the field on multiple occasions. They have leaned on this offensive line to make sure that they put points on the board, and I expect them to continue to do it here on this drive.
I think Harkey and Poncho felt like they scored those touchdowns.
Oh, yeah, they should get something, an assist or something.
Brock Thomas remains in at quarterback for the injured Dante Moore. Just came out of the tent. We'll check on him in a bit as Noah Whittington gets out for just a yard. Mason Posa with a stop. There he is. On a night like this, weather being the way it is, the defense of Oregon playing the way it is, might be a good opportunity for this youngster that they feel so highly on. A 3-star who threw for almost 3,000 yards and 41 touchdowns at Sheldon High School. A legacy within the Oregon program, too. Brock Thomas to get a little playing time. Whittington!
Talked about the offensive lineman, but how about the tight end, the pass catcher getting involved, number 18. Take a look at him. Initially lose this battle. Initially he gets beat, and then he continues to fight, gets himself a pancake. Hello, breakfast. Down the sideline goes Noah Whittington.
70 yards. I think our friend the Disco Duck thought it was a house call. He had a touchdown all the way.
Further review.
They're going to likely check to see when he stepped out of bounds, if he got close to the sideline.
For the moment, this is Oregon's largest run,
All right,
but
so
I think they may rule him out a little sooner. Right there. Yep. So that may reduce that number down quite a bit from the 70 yards that we previously unofficially had.
Still a really big gain, and when you run plays at the point of attack, you have to win, because they say get the play started. If you don't get the play started, it won't work, and you have to give a lot of credit to Kenyon Sadiq initially losing the battle and then finding a way to get that play started for a big game. However, I don't think it's going to be as big as we anticipate.
I think you're going to rule it about the 47.5, somewhere between the 47 and the 48 of Oregon. It happened right there.
Yep.
Right at the 48-yard line.
Yep.
I was just going to say before that big moment from Noah Whittington that Wisconsin, as sound as they've been historically and even this year for Mike Tressel, they've not been able to create any turnovers. They are.
After review, the runner stepped out of bounds at the 49-yard line. It'll be first down and 10, Oregon at that spot.
Well, our officials a yard off, but they've been yards off on first downs a couple of times tonight.
Hey, I was going to say, they heard you say that and said, guess what? You're wrong, Tim.
4 turnovers is all they've got. All they've got all season long. 126th among FBS schools and 17th in the Big Ten. They need a turnover now in the worst way. Wisconsin. So that 70-yarder went to 36 yards. A very big play. Davison went for 67. Earlier, Noah Whittington's in the backfield. High snap to Thomas. Brock decides to tuck it and slide. Pretty smart move by the young quarterback. He's really composed out there, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, and you got to think, this is difficult. Coming into the game in these conditions, in a game where maybe you thought you would be up big, but you're not, right? The Wisconsin defense continues to play tough, and the rain is coming down. I don't think there's a quarterback watching this that is envying the position of either of these quarterbacks.
Gotta hand it to the majority of this crowd. They've hung in there, clearly waiting for Otis Day and the Knights and shout between the third and fourth quarter. Whittington wrapped up behind the line. There's still a lot of get after it within the Wisconsin Badgers mindset. Sebastian Cheeks and JVR Suggs, 15 and 31, collaborate.
Yeah, just watch the middle of this play. Number 31, Suggs, does a really nice job of getting off the ball and just finding his way through to make sure that run is stopped immediately.
Well, regardless of the outcome of this game, and it may be 15 quarters, right? But by the end, for Wisconsin not scoring at all, this Wisconsin defense has sent a message as to where this program is. Thomas, that ball is tipped, and it's Moore on the receiving end. There's an example of when it's going bad. The Badgers had a chance at a pick. Emilio Agard had a chance at a pick. Instead, it's tipped and received by DeCorian Moore.
And this usually doesn't happen, Tim. The tips and overthrows usually go the wrong way, but how about the awareness of number 1 in black, DeCorian Moore, the true freshman who's been exceptional all season with this heads-up, good hands type of play.
You see the reaction by Agard, but also Daryl Peterson is trailing the play like, really? We're going to see that again? Problems with the handle on the high snap, and Thomas is troubling down back at the 43. That almost happened to him a couple of plays ago. Aaron Witt got on top of him.
Yeah, and
loss of 9.
Tim, Josh R. Sims, he said it's raining as hard as it's rained all day. His eyes are on the ball, but it just slips right through. In a normal conditions, he would make that catch and that play would be fine, but ball security has to be at a premium because just like you said, Wisconsin needs to get a turnover. That's the way you allow them back in this game if you're Oregon.
I mean, at this stage, the Badgers defense is probably thinking, we need a turnover and maybe we even need to score for our team at this stage of the season. Davison trying to navigate his way, cutting it back up on what looked to be a stretch play early, and then he cut it back. He gets it to the 40-yard line of Wisconsin.
In this third and extra long with the rain coming down extremely hard, the only throws that I would expect from Oregon is a screen. So if you're Wisconsin, you have to be weary of that and understand, don't go rushing at the quarterback recklessly. Understand that there could be a rat that you have to make sure you stop any screen play that could happen.
Third down, 17. Thomas, shallow cross to DeCorian Moore. Spun down at the 38-yard line. Just give him a couple of yards forward.
It's a really nice call by offensive coordinator Will Stein, understanding the situation and knowing the way we allow Wisconsin in this game is by turning the football over. Don't give your young quarterback a chance and just take a look at this rain.
As I look in the sky,
incredible.
And I'm thinking of, again, I'm thinking of the good old days when college football quagmires would happen from time to time. This is weather suitable for a duck. A frog strangler, as we used to say down south. Ballard back deep. Ferguson Reynolds to boot it away. End over end, fair catch. At the 4, a 34-yard boot. Very effective for Ferguson Reynolds. Good night for a mutter, but we're on an artificial surface, so you got to slide and ride the rest of the way. And a torrential downpour, 14-0. Remember, this Wisconsin team gave the Ducks as a #1 team all they wanted in Madison, leading by 7 in the fourth quarter. Oregon takes the lead again and sealed the game as Braden Locke threw a pick with 1 minute left. The final score was 16-13. Oregon, they escaped that night. And they've been well defended this night by Luke Fickell's team against Dan Lanning's. somehow they've got to find their way into the scoring column. It's been 14 quarters and counting. Atuka, who's been their best option all night offensively, another healthy gain on first down. Betcher with another tackle.
Yeah, I mean, Atuka has done a nice job. You just said it. He's been the one they can rely on. They haven't had much of a pass game, but his ability to pick up yardage in this offensive line, he's done a really nice job, but they've got to find something in the air, even though the rain is coming down profusely.
Second down and 5. Extra tight ends and Atuka. Nothing doing. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to hide. It's a fired up defense now. Devin Jackson, the linebacker, junior out of Omaha, Nebraska, leading the charge.
In normal conditions with no rain, they trust their back end. They trust their back end in man coverage. They trust their safeties to be disciplined. But in a situation where you're not a very good passing team and the rain is coming down, you have to imagine that defensive coordinator, Coach LeBoy, is telling his defense, hey, they're going to run the football. You need to stop it. Put everybody in the box.
Ball's on the ground, recovered by Wisconsin. A lot of activity there, and Betcher knocked it free. Davis Heinzen got on top of it, the center, to save the day.
They're going to run the football, everybody in the box, and now the ball is out. A great form tackle by number 28, Bryce Betcher. In these conditions, your linebackers are allowed to play downhill, and that's his 6th tackle on the night.
Sean West back in to boot it away. They need some distance. That's why he's in there. Gary Bryant and single safety. Good punt. Backs him up to the 40. And he's up to his 47 before being tackled by a bevy of Badgers. 55-yard boot, 6-yard return. Tonight's Good Hands moment is sponsored by Allstate, celebrating 20 years of the Allstate Good Hands Nets program.
And Decoria Moore is Johnny on the spot. There haven't been a bunch of opportunities to have good hands moments because of the weather. However, this is an opportunity where on a tip or an overthrow, it ends positive for the offense.
What an opportunity here, even though it's in horrendous conditions for young Brock Thomas.
Yeah.
But an opportunity for him to shine, and the coaches are very high on this young man. Quick pitch towards the field to Whittington. And some good defensive reaction from Ricardo Hallman, number 2. He was able to spring that one out, holding to just a yard, setting the edge.
If you're Oregon, the one thing going through your mind right now has to be ball security. You cannot give the football back, whether it be a fumble or an interception. You got to make sure you protect it at all costs, because Wisconsin has not just, they haven't shown the ability on offense to move the ball down the field, right? So if you were to just run the football and punt for the rest of this game, you think you'd be in good shape.
Whittington again. Again headed towards the boundary, not much. Ben Barton with the tackle. Let's go down to Josh Sims.
Well, after Dante Moore took that hit, he went into the tent to get evaluated, was in there for over 15 minutes getting looked at. After that, he came out of the tent with his helmet on, but as you see, has not re-entered the game. So it's the Brock Thomas show right now, and Dan Lanning talks about rent being due each and every week. Brock Thomas is a guy that earned his way to be the backup quarterback, worked his way up the depth chart with how he practices. That's why he's getting this opportunity out here right now, guys.
Yeah, you can see how badly he was bleeding from his nose after that hit, and the time spent in that tent. That pass is incomplete.
That's going to be a pass interference.
Oregon wanted a pass interference, and they're going to get it. Jamari Johnson was the intended receiver, You see him smiling from ear to ear there.
That was some athletic play by that defender in the Wisconsin backfield. He jumps and glides, but then he pulls the wide receiver as he's trying to get his offhand in there to break it up.
Looks like Brown, Austin Brown, with that proverbial whodunit look on his face.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the defense. Pass interference. Defense, number 9. That penalty's declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer with targeting. Defense, number 17. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down. The targeting portion of this foul is under further review.
Yeah, Daryl Peterson, and this is really bad news for Wisconsin. They'll lose him for a half next week.
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah, and
he's defenseless. The ball is out, and you just essentially jump your head into his head, right? And the key part of it is he's a defensive player. Once that ball is gone and you hit him in the head or neck area, it's going to be a targeting every time, especially on the quarterback.
Yeah, and they've got Washington next week at home. And given the level of losses, severe losses of personnel on defense, they can really ill afford losing one of their few veterans in their back end from that linebacking core. They're playing a lot of freshmen as we speak.
Number 17 committed a personal foul, roughing the passer with targeting. Number 17 is disqualified for the remainder of the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anyone, Wisconsin fans included, that would look at that and say that that's not targeting. I know there's a lot of discrepancy on what is and what is not targeting, but that's the paradigm of what targeting looks like.
Yeah, no question. There are some issues clearly that have to be addressed with officiating and particularly with targeting in the offseason. They tweak it a little, it seems, every year.
Yeah, they're trying.
They're trying. But the safety of the player still remains a constant. And whether Peterson got caught up in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, and either way, it's a bad football play. The ball is gone. You shouldn't hit him anyway.
No doubt.
But then you hit him up high. You have to suffer the consequences.
Jordan Davison back in. He's made a lot of things happen. He and Hill in there together. This is Hill. Four-star kid out of Centralia, Illinois. Big-time talent. Run down by Matthew Young. 27 yards.
Yeah, and you can see that that's exactly where number 17, Daryl Peterson, would have been lined up. He's done a nice job tonight setting the edge, but there he's out of the game because of targeting, and they take advantage right away.
Clock winding down to end the third quarter. All Oregon in the second half. They get ready. Say it now, baby. Say you will. Say you will. Oh, give me some dancing bears. Give me some ducks. We open the fourth quarter. Jordan Davison. Jordan Davison down to the one. Mason Posa runs him down.
Jordan Davison has done a really nice job of giving this crowd something to shout about, and he tries to get in the end zone there again and sets his offense up nicely.
I got to give it to the crowd. We got a few empties now, but they're filing up. They wait until shout is done. Now, more are hitting the gates now after they've done shout, but they want to hang at least until shout is played. From the one, out of the eye, Davison dots it. Play fake. Wide open, and look who caught it. And it was almost dropped. And give me a little something afterwards, will you?
There could be a number change in the building.
Oh, yeah.
Big number 35 right here. You can see he's a big fella.
That's Janoris Wilson, the offensive lineman who changed from 78 to 35 on special teams. His moment to shout out loud.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he had a little something for us once he got to pay dirt.
See, he has to let us know that he's changing to 35 so we can say it's a big man touchdown.
Now the walk-on, Brock Thomas says, give me some lovin'. I
And
said,
when you
give
get
it
to
to
score,
me.
you get to do that dance.
College football on FS1 is sponsored by Graduate by Hilton. Spirited stays in your favorite college towns. By the way, Janoris Wilson has tasted the end zone before on a very similar play. He did the same thing a year ago. There he is, getting that uniform back on, the proper number.
You old trickster, you good-for-nothing swindler.
It's a team effort up here.
And it's tough getting that jersey on, though.
You know, sometimes you have to wax poetic after a touchdown while Bender is going blank for brains. And Scotty Alexander is going, oh, I got it by my side. But we're all good. We're all good. Janoris was 35, now he's 78 again.
There you go.
And that jersey is not tapered.
Nope.
Anthony with the return. And the leather popping in real time tells you the coverage was pretty good, up to about the 22. You think the fans in Madison would love a touchdown at this stage? Just give them a touchdown. 14 straight quarters without a TD, working on their 15th right now. And they're some of the best fans in college football. I love going to Camp Randall. Love being in Madison. Some of my old friends, some of my best friends in media went to school in Madison. Gideon Atuka, who's had a really good night. Atuka. Here's the setback. He goes in motion now on first down. Blitz coming. Pass knocked away, incomplete. Bryce Betcher, who's been fantastic, especially in the third quarter, knocks that one away from Tretch Kekahuna.
Yeah, he always does a really nice job in the run game, but in the pass game, I think he's underappreciated. He does such a nice job, but how about Mixon just running down, understanding the situation, that ball might be out, don't kill the quarterback and get a penalty. Very nice poise by him.
20 carries, 86 yards for Atuka. That's a healthy 86 against this defense. Play fake. Looping it long on a go route, incomplete for Chris Brooks. And a marker down, so they will get help as Naheem Alford is going to be tagged with a PI.
Yeah, another talented true freshman that gets his opportunity.
Pass interference, defense number 14. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And you're going to be able to see he's in good position. He's running, but then he starts to get hands-on. With hands-on, even though he's looking at the football, and that football being in the air, they're going to get pass interference every time. But this is another freshman that they really like. And you can see there a little jersey grab by number 1, Chris Brooks Jr. as well. Referee didn't see it, but he's a guy who got a second opportunity, right? Had some bad plays early in the season against Northwestern after getting some opportunities, but they came back into the room and said, hey, there's still competition at the cornerback position. He asked, wait, I can still compete? And they say, yeah, and he continues to earn his opportunities.
Now, Simmons was 1 for 13 for 12 yards before that bailout. They got the first down. And here is Kekahuna, who's one of the playmakers. They've lost so many of them, but Jeff Grimes talked to us about the need to get Anthony and to get Kekahuna the football whenever possible. Just the second completion of the night, as we mentioned.
Yeah, this defense for Oregon already coming into this game was second in the country and second in the Big Ten in pass defense. They may move into first after this performance.
Simmons, the transfer out of Southern Illinois, looking at a 2nd and 1. Gonna go for the gusto. Uh-oh. Pressure off the backside. The ball was deflected. I think they're gonna rule it a forward pass and incomplete. He was looking deep.
Another one of those corners Number 5, Theron Johnson, comes off the edge there and gets to that arm. Usually it's the defensive linemen that are taught, get to the arm of the quarterback. But how about a cornerback doing a perfect job of it? That's teach shape on how to get it done.
And he had Kekahuna and Anthony in mind, and he was going to go for it all.
Tim, don't you go for the quarterback. Don't go for his body. Go for the ball.
Yeah, yeah. Looks as though they may have, well, they're going to say it's first down. Yeah, they ruled it an incompletion. First down.
Wait.
Ball is at the 47-yard line.
Tim, they called that a fumble.
They
which
did.
I think
They
it
moved
is.
the chains.
And recover for how about stumbling forward?
Yeah, I'm amazed at that. I'm amazed that wasn't an incompletion.
Well,
They gave him a first down, and
let's
that
take a
kind of
look.
shocked us.
Let's take a look. No control with the arm going forward. That's a fumble.
Okay.
And so you just trip up the stairs.
Well, the reaction of the offensive lineman should have told you. And by the way, credit 74 again.
Yeah,
Heinzen,
Heinzen.
that's twice he's come up with fumble recoveries to save the day. One was on the doorstep of the end zone. His end zone. And a timeout taken by Oregon.
Timeout, Oregon. Their first of the half. Full media
Well,
timeout.
on nights like this, if you're Wisconsin, if that's how you're going to get a first down, you'll take it.
You'll take it.
You'll take it.
It never rains in Austin Stadium.
It never rains in Austin Stadium!
It will not rain tonight at Austin Stadium!
Just a box of rain, rain and water. Believe it if you need it. If you don't just
I don't feel a thing. I mean, I don't feel a thing. I don't know about you, but I don't feel a thing.
I've got to be honest, Tim. I don't think it's raining, honestly. I mean, I feel fine.
I don't think they feel anything either, by the way.
See?
Yeah.
I told you it's not raining.
Yeah. Well, the good news for them is it's not November, so it's not as cold as it is wet. Grover Bortolotti has come into the game, number 43. As we continue to go down the depth chart of the Wisconsin Badgers running game. It was officially a sack, fumble, recovery by the offense for first down, and Bortolotti has one go right through his hands, and it's third down and 11. Bortolotti, graduate senior out of Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin, has a brother on the team. Spends a lot of time on special teams.
It's a really nice play. You got a corner blitz off the edge there. Number 14, Naheem Alford, getting to the quarterback, punishing him legally.
Third down 11. Getting anything going in the passing game has been virtually impossible. They need the impossible here. Third and 11. Simmons out pattern, caught well short of the necessary yardage to Lance Mason, but given the circumstances, you got to believe it's 4-down territory after a gain of 8, 4th and 3.
Coincidentally, the rain has started to slow, so it allows for the passing game for Wisconsin to try to get going. And it's important because on this fourth down, you're probably going to have to go to the air, I would believe. In a wet ball and rain coming down are less than ideal situations.
What is your can't miss 4-yard fourth down play? Tuca has been the answer most of the night, and it looks like we're going to get a timeout by Wisconsin.
Timeout, Wisconsin. The second of the half, 30 seconds.
With this much time remaining, Devin, it's those little victories that can matter for a team like Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Just to get a score, just a touchdown.
I mean,
it means so much to this team that really has played hard, if not well, hard for Luke Fickell tonight.
Yeah, Tim, anybody that was, it was a a clear misconception that this team has quit on their coaching. It's just not the case. And if you're watching this and you're saying, wow, this team isn't playing hard for Luke Fickell, you're sadly mistaken.
Yeah.
And you must have a vendetta out there, because this team has battled in less than ideal conditions, the rain, a really talented football team, number 6 Oregon, Austin Stadium, a difficult place to play, and they haven't been in position to win the game, right? They haven't played well enough. However, they have played hard.
Let's face it, most of the country thought this score would be 21-0 10 minutes into the game.
Oh yeah.
They looked at 42 on the board against Rutgers at halftime last week, Oregon. That pass, cradled, caught inside the 40 at the 39 by Kekahuna. So that's a huge moment for Hunter Simmons just to get the completion and the first down.
Do a nice job of kind of sneaking up behind and getting to that curl route, sitting down in the middle of that zone, and a nice completion.
Going quickly underneath to Atuka. And Gideon gets it to about the 33-yard line. A flag down.
You're going to get a hold on Riley Maulman. He completely mauled big number 44.
Holding. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty. First down.
These are the things for Tatum Tuioti that go unnoticed. Even though he doesn't make every single play, he makes a lot of them, but he doesn't make every single one. But there are situations like this, right, where he puts so much pressure at the bottom of your screen on the tackle that the tackle is forced to hold him and snatch him down to the ground.
That's just a great case of leverage to the defender winning.
So do you record a stat? Do you get a sack? Absolutely not. However, it's a 10-yard penalty.
Oh, yeah.
Just as good as a sack.
And Maulman is one of the veterans of that offensive front. Kahuna again. Gets it back to the 42-yard line of Oregon. Kennedy with the stop. Jaden Kennedy, number 22.
I mean, and he has to track him all the way across the field. Watch him have to go and follow and see where Kekahuna is going and his speed to catch up all the way outside the other numbers and make that play for a minimal gain.
Second down and 14.
They really love what they have gotten from him, transferring from Ole Miss.
Simmons looked to be a designed quarterback keeper, and Tuioti made sure that it didn't get off the ground.
Yeah, and their defense coordinator, Tosh LaPointe, he was so transparent with us in the meeting, saying there was opportunities in the game a week ago where he called defenses he shouldn't have called, and they got burned by a quarterback draw. That time he calls a defense for second and long.
Simmons under duress, underthrown but caught. It's Hilton, Eugene Hilton, and he doesn't get in. He stopped at about the 1-yard line, maybe the foot mark, the foot. About the touchdown. That could have been a touchdown so easily, and yet they're denied.
Simmons throws up a prayer, and it is answered. A great adjustment to put this ball inside the 5.
Yeah, the ball being underthrown really played a role, and you got to give Eugene Hilton credit.
Timeout, Oregon, their second and a half, 30 seconds.
The freshman from Zionsville, Indiana, his first grab of the night, but a highly thought of 4-star prospect.
Yeah, you're going to see Simmons here under the duress. He's dropping back. He says he's down there somewhere. Let's see what we can do. Lets it fly, and then the ability to see the football in the air. If your receiver sees it first, he can make a play on it. What a nice job.
Yeah, that's into triple coverage. Thiedemann fell down. He got tied up.
I mean, he was in perfect position, but the underthrown ball is a safety or defensive back's worst enemy. You're in perfect position, the ball's underthrown, you run right past it, and it's a catch for Hilton Jr. Let's see if he's actually down. It looks like he's on top of the defender. And
Boy,
I don't know. I would take a look at that. It looks like he might have gotten in the end zone by landing on the defender and kind of floating into the end zone.
Certainly worthy of a long look. I would agree. Steve Simling is back in there for us tonight. Mike Pereira taking the evening off. Steve, what do you think?
Well, I'm channeling my inner Mike, and when you looked at that last shot, that hand is down. That doesn't put him down, and everything else looks like on the body. I think that if they took a look, he would be in. It looks like he scores based on this, because that left elbow is not down.
No, and the shoulder's not either.
Right, not until the body crosses the goal line.
Yeah, I agree. But nothing's coming easily for Wisconsin. They got to believe right now they need probably a Mack truck in front of the running back to get into the end zone after 14-plus quarters not scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, the one thing you have to know, though, Oregon does not do well inside the 5. 5 of the 9 touchdowns they've given up inside the 5, and it's a fumble.
Fumbled the snap. Simmons gets on top of it. You know, I think that these guys are in shotgun so much that when they get under center, and particularly this close to the end zone, they don't know how to seed the ball.
Yeah, he just doesn't get it. He goes out a little early, starts to rock back. But the stat I was telling you about, they give up 100% of scores when they allow teams in the red zone. And 5 of the 9 touchdowns that were given up, they came inside the 5. So I would like to say that Wisconsin is in a positive position right here.
Getting in at Tuca is the setback. Oh, beautiful play fake. They go to Mason for the touchdown. Lance Mason, the senior from Rockwall, Texas. And for the first time in 15 quarters, that man gets to raise the number 1 after a touchdown play.
That is huge for this fan base. That is huge for every kid on this team that has continued to work hard and give it everything they've got. He's going to sneak the tight end in the flat off of the naked bootleg, and he's in the end zone for a score for the first time in 14 quarters.
3rd touchdown for him. He has the most touchdowns for Wisconsin's team so far all year. You see Vakos in for the extra point. Haven't been able to say the place kicker's name for an extra point in a long time in Madison, Wisconsin.
As much as you don't want to give up the shutout for Tosh Lupoi, it gives him an opportunity to figure out what is the problem when they get teams inside the 5 and they give up touchdowns.
So it's become a 2-score game with just under 8 minutes remaining. Sure, the folks at Naples 15 are serving up some dessert at my favorite Italian restaurant in Madison, Wisconsin right now. So why are they so excited? Down 2 touchdowns. That's our first touchdown. 3 hours, 45 minutes, and 13 seconds of game time. And I'm going to give the Badgers fan base some love. By the way, that, my friend,
it's a naked duck.
That's a naked duck.
What?
Yeah.
Put some clothes on.
Well, it's a good thing we're on cable tonight, because if we were on Fox over the air, we'd have to be making all kinds of apologies. Let's go down to Josh Sims. Josh?
Well, Timmy B, the saying goes, it never rains in Autzen, an expression popularized by Oregon PA announcer Don Essig back in 1990. Well, we know that not to be true, given how much it's rained here tonight. But for Essig and this Oregon team, it's more of a state of mind. It is not a forecast that whenever you come to a game here, it is sunny, it is great Oregon Ducks football. That's why he says it before every game, regardless of the weather. It's been raining all night, though, guys. It rains in Autzen.
Yeah.
I don't know what Josh is talking about. I haven't felt a drop of rain.
Nor have I, by the way.
Thank you. Our trooper down there on the field, getting all the stories, making sure that he battles.
He's hydroplaning from one sideline to the other.
Oh, yeah.
First down, Oregon. Thomas remains in at quarterback for the injured Dante Moore. There will be some speculation, I'm sure, after this game about the severity of Dante Moore's injury when he left the game. My guess, and again, it's just a guess. I don't play a doctor, not even on TV, but my guess is the game being well in hand, the way that it was, why not give this young man the opportunity in a game like this?
Yeah, I don't see why you don't have an opportunity for a young guy. Like you said, we don't know the severity of the injury, but even though this is only a 2-score game, right? This game's not over.
That's right.
It does feel like Oregon has been in control, especially defensively.
Jordan Davison has gotten yardage in bunches. Another problem with the snap. Davison does get it late, and he takes off again. As I mentioned, he gets them in bunches, and that's another example of it. Austin Brown with the tackle.
It's just so cool to see a true freshman play the way Davison has played tonight. You love to see that in college football. These young guys come in prepared to play, and more importantly, you get an opportunity to play. And there are some true freshmen on the other sideline. Mason Posa, Cooper Catalano. I mean, you are getting an opportunity to play on a big stage, and you're performing. That is special for their families and especially for them.
Well, 15 carries, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns for Davison. Had a big game. 4 carries, a career-high 100 yards at Rutgers, picking up where he left off. Also played well in the loss to Indiana with almost 60 yards and 4 catches for this 4-star recruit, so highly thought of, out of Santa Ana, California.
And the unselfishness of every person on this team, but especially that running back room, because there just aren't enough carries to go around. And you have guys sacrificing stats for the good of the team and the good of guys working hard and earning their opportunity. You just got to love that, because that is not what you see in college football in 2025.
Well, this drive is all about pounding the rock and letting the clock go tick, 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 tick. As Whittington goes right up the gut for another 8 yards. Western Kentucky transfer running into Catalano and Matthew Young for Wisconsin.
I really love how Dan Lanning has leaned into high school recruiting, right? In his early years, he leaned on the transfer portal like you have to turn over a roster. However, since then, the numbers just continue to dwindle, and he's a coach that believes in high school recruiting, and then you add pieces like Thieneman in the back end and different things like that to help your offense continue to, or your defense and your offense to continue to move forward. But he is relying on the recruiting to make his team really good.
Thomas on his own ushers himself out. You saw Kenyon Sadiq check out. Was a little bit ginger with his right leg as he did check out. Seemed to be okay, though, going out on most of his own power. Make no doubt, in a lot of games, Kenyon Sadiq is the difference maker for this Oregon offense. It almost runs through him at tight end. Well, this is exactly what the doctor ordered for these young folks. A nice, long power drive on the ground to get them to those beautiful homes, beautiful fraternity houses in and around Eugene, Oregon. Davison, another 8 as they pound the rock. Austin Brown has to come up from safety again and make the stop.
Although most of this game has just been on the ground for the young quarterback, Brock Thomas, it's impressive to see him just understand the situation, know that you essentially just stay out of the way, right? And he's had some bad snaps that he's had to deal with in these conditions. I think he's done a really nice job of proving that he can be trusted if Dante Moore is not able to go.
When he's had to throw it, he's thrown it well. Yeah. Davison burrows ahead. Late flag comes in at the 31-yard line. You know, you think back with
holding, offense, number 9, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Think back to the history of this program. We touched on it at the beginning. You see the holding call going against Johnson, but Mike Bellotti had an incredible career here for 14 years. Got him on the precipice of a national championship, and then Chip Kelly got them to a national championship game. And when he vacated for the NFL, Mark Helfrich, our colleague, if not for a bunch of injured wide receivers in the Pac-12 title game in 2014, they would have competed really well against Ohio State when Urban got his national title. You can make a case, as Thomas keeps it and stays in bounds, you can make a case that this is the best program over the last, going even back to Rich Brooks's days, all right? For maybe 30 years out west, to be very close to a national championship and yet not get over the hump. I mean, they've done everything here but win it all.
Yeah,
really.
They've had a Heisman Trophy winner, you know, and like you said, they've done everything but get over that hump. And Coach Dan Lanning thinks that he has the team that can possibly do that, and they're ever improving. You don't want to be a finished product in the middle of the season or the beginning of the season. You want to have opportunities to continue to improve, and I think that's what you see with this Oregon football team. Today, they prove how tough they are in the run game.
Thomas showing his resourcefulness, but a great tackle in space by Ben Barton. Shoestring variety, boxing back at the 46-yard line.
As much as people will look at this and say, well, yeah, they did a great job stopping the run or running the football and doing things against Wisconsin. However, you have to remember that Wisconsin is an outstanding run defense, right?
Yep.
So the ability to be tough and show that toughness and run the football it's been really impressive watching them do this. And Dan Lanning should be proud, but you still have many, many things you can work on going back to the drawing board.
The thing they got to follow it up with is, and I'm sure Tosh Lupoi will be telling them, guys, when we're in the red zone defensively, we got to shore things up. There's always something to work on.
You said
as
it
good
earlier.
as they look.
You said it earlier. They don't let people in the red zone often, but when they do, they give up 100% scores.
They don't have a lot of practice in there, but they have to practice it. They spend an entire day on it.
Yeah.
You know, they do it Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. They work and have points of emphasis on exactly that. Pretty amazing when you think about it. Ducks will punt it away. Ferguson Reynolds to get it off. Uh-oh, a fake and a marker's down. And it is taken in for the touchdown, Roger Salamanca. But hold everything. Hold everything.
Holding, kicking team, number 10. 10-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, that spoiled a lot of fun for the fans here and for the Oregon sidelines.
Uyunglele right there. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta move your feet, big fella.
Yeah.
What a nice throw. Nice form.
Yeah.
By the punter.
Well, let me also say. Let me also say that Wisconsin, you give a little bit of credit because of the theatrics of Wisconsin's defender after being held. He made sure the officials knew it.
Oh, yeah. I trust this will probably be a punt. But nothing good happens on a re-kick.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
That was Bortolotti, by the way, 43, the running back on special teams that sort of threw his body back after he was being held. Another penalty flag down after a 41-yard boot this time. And that's a disgusted Ferguson Reynolds after throwing a strike.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to get their licks in and some boos of the officiating. But that was a good call. Had to make it. But it did spoil a lot of fun.
Illegal formation. Defense covering the snapper. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is 1st down, Wisconsin.
Monday, it's game 3 of the World Series as the scene shifts to Los Angeles, where Vlad Jr. and the Blue Jays take on Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. Game 3 of the World Series. Dodgers are winning 5-1 in the 9th as we speak, so the series in all likelihood will be tied at a game apiece. Game at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on FS1. Let's see if Hunter Simmons can build on that last successful drive. He's going to wing it. Oh, boy. It is intercepted. Dalen Austin. It hit him in the chest. It popped out, and he recovered it again.
Another one of these homegrown Ducks came to Oregon, is still at Oregon, and he makes a play for the defense. Dalen Austin with the great hand-eye coordination to get the pick.
Excessive celebration is likely this call. Flag is down on the field. We'll have to see.
Hey, Tim, remember that thing I talked about, tips and overthrow?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's an overthrow.
The result of the play is an interception. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Wisconsin, number 10. Half the distance to the goal. First down. That's number 10's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
So it goes against Tatuka rather than excessive celebration. It was rather excessive, but I guess all things considered, they took away a touchdown, so why not? Oh, it all began with the Doodle Bug, the VW bringing in arguably the greatest mascot in sports. And then Dante Moore goes down with a bloody nose and some cobwebs between his ears. And he sat the rest of the game. But the Ducks were swimming well on the ground with the help of guys like Jordan Davison, Noah Whittington. And there you see the rushing comparison between the two. And give a lot of credit to the Badgers for getting a great deal done on the ground themselves, particularly in the first half. Now it's time to get into victory formation and call it a night. So, partner, we don't know where we're going to be again next week. It's another one of those lovely 6-day holes. And we'll find out either tomorrow sometime or maybe early Monday at the latest where we might be. We anticipate it being a Big 12 encounter. And that league has gone wild, man. BYU beating Iowa State the way they did in the second half today. They remain undefeated.
With a true freshman quarterback.
And let me tell you, that was good for the Big 12. Here's why. BYU, if they can stay undefeated, you figure one team gets into the Big 12 championship game with no losses. Another team happens to win the Big 12 championship. Now you get 2 in. There's a chance.
True. You got it all figured out. I feel like they should just call you, Tim, and see who should be in, who should be out, and you decide.
Well, it's at this time of the game when we're emptying the bucket, we speculate just a little.
No, I'm just telling you, Tim, you got a good beat on it. They should call Timmy B and consult and say, hey, you know, and it's good to see Dante Moore there. Right, it was a scary kind of moment going out with so much blood, and he looks happy and well.
And I want to compliment you and what you did for him and his candor. Our friends at CBS even gave you a shout out during that game when he talked about what you had done for him. So that broadcast crew in the most recent game they had here on CBS. So thanks to Brad and Gary for that, our colleagues over there. Enjoyed it, big fella. We got a better game, I think, than most people anticipated tonight.
Oh, certainly. A lot of people didn't see this coming, and so proud of what Dante Moore has become. Sad to see him leave this football game, but you love to see Dan Lanning say who he is and live it, be it.
Your first trip to Outset, enjoy it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Nothing like coming here. And to Jerry Garcia's memory and the Grateful Dead. We're all grateful to be here at Fox. For Scotty Alexander, Brett Bender, Jake Jolivet, Dustin Dente, Michael Barshop, Juan Mitchell. Good night from Eugene, Oregon. C'est la vie.